it recording? Yeah. Oh, good, yes. Sorry, I get a bit of a screen delay at times. Anyway. You'd think I would adjust my webcam and just leave it there. Anyway, welcome to It's My YouTube, and I'll blog if I want to, the place where the production values you get what you pay for. I'm working on the leg piece for my armor. This is actually something I put together. The forearm piece. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, the forearm piece came out basically much too small. And so I've actually come up with, depending on how I readjust or whatever else, I may end up actually using this in another build. So as a complete unified forearm piece, it actually does pretty good. I may actually decide to use this in my build instead. Is there coffee? Brewing. There's no coffee! I may end up deciding to use this in my build actually, and then just reprint the bicep pieces, you know, a little bit bigger. But as a and ironically, as a forearm piece, I'm probably going to have to actually switch it over to the other side. Okay, yeah, that actually does work pretty damn good. So I may actually end up using this as my actual forearm pieces, because I do have the other arm, you know, cut, and so it's just a matter of doing the rearrangement. Basically, I just have to kind of slap some hot glue in there, kind of just see where I go with this, but I'm probably going to end up just reprinting the entire arm larger. You know, we'll see how that works, because I know how long it takes me to build an arm now. Working on the leg piece. And I have to find the damn pattern that I'd put together. I'm hoping that I friggin' actually saved it, because it just... Because I did some work on this pattern by rearranging certain things, but I'm thinking I actually did manage to find a pattern already set for it and see. I mean, I know I found one of the base patterns, but in any event, actually the reason why I started recording this in the first place was I found out recently about Hillary Clinton deciding to run for president. Eventually I'm going to have to, like, work on how to interspace photos and things like that in my, because I've got some really great Facebook reaction photos. One of my favorites is the guy, you know, the cartoon of the guy actually having his hand, like, through his head, you know, it's like that bad of a face palm. I already know Hillary's not going to be elected president, okay? I'm sorry, people are not that stupid. I mean, I know there are some Democrats out there, and I've seen so many like, oh my God, I love Hillary, I love Hillary, I love Hillary. It's, oh my God, people, please sterilize that one. If you hear somebody actually talking about how much they love Hillary, Ashley Judd, for example, needs to be removed from the breeding pool. Okay? It makes me wonder, though, who are the Democrats actually going to put out as the Democratic candidate? Because, I'm sorry, this early in the game, it's like, you know, oh, Hillary Clinton, oh my God. Do you really think that in the current environment, you know, the way politics are going in, I mean, announcing that you are running for president while the fact that you have deleted 30,000 emails from your personal server, which, as the leader of the State Department, you're not supposed to be running. And then you delete the emails after receiving orders to turn over the documents. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know who it is that thinks that she's going to be elected. So that makes me wonder, are the Democrats going to put forward a candidate who is going to continue what the Democrats are obviously after right now, which is to destroy our country, but is going to be so palatable compared to Hillary, they think, oh, we're going to jump all over that? Or are they just deliberately handing over the election to the Republicans, either hoping that they're going to screw things up, or, as we've seen with the community organizers, going to go out there with a Republican president in office and then deliberately do things hoping to sabotage the Republicans, so therefore when it comes around to the next election cycle, they could put Obama back in office because things are so screwed up or whatever. Although I know that they can't put Obama back in office because of the fact that he served 2 terms. You know, and, I mean, I'm kind of annoyed at the whole situation in the first place, because here it is we have shown repeatedly that Obama is in fact not eligible for office, yet he's not being removed. Yes. I love my personal assistant. I love having a personal assistant, actually. It's actually my wife, but, you know, I have, like, when we started dating, I told her in the first place, hey, I'm trying to get my business going, and I do need a personal assistant. And then, you know, just kind of ended up marrying her because I figure, you know, if I'm married to her, I can't get charged for sexual harassment. But, you know, like I said, I really have to wonder about this whole Hillary thing, though. Why are you going to put forth such a toxic candidate if there is not some sort of agenda behind it? Now, the scarier thing is that if there is not an agenda, if the Democrats actually well and truly believe that Hillary Clinton, oh my God, yes, she's going to be a wonderful president and everything else. I'm sorry, if you have Democrat on your voting card, thank you. Thank you. If you are a registered Democrat, you need to be removed from the breeding pool. Because if you well and truly believe that Hillary Clinton is going to make a good president, I'm sorry, I do not, it's like Mensa members. There are some really cool Mensa members, I've met them, but by and large, people in Mensa, yeah, they're really highly intelligent, but the public faces of Mensa are just... And then again, I don't know if you've seen some of the same ones that I've seen and everything else, and I can't remember some of the names right now because it was just like, oh my God. I mean, this is like, I mean, people like Ashley Judd, who, hold on a second, you know, she supports Hillary Clinton, who, after the American ambassador to Malaysia, I believe it was horribly and brutally raped, turns around and invites the Malaysian, you know, guy to a lunch and is all like, oh, what, and doesn't even bring up, hey, what is it that you guys are looking at doing about the fact that our representative was brutally assaulted in your country. See, that's part of the reason why I did. I mean, oh God, I wish that Reagan could be elected again, or I wish we could get another Reagan in, because if our ambassador to a country had been brutally assaulted like that, and that country's government did not take active steps against those who committed the atrocity, we would have read that as an act of war, which is what it is that it is supposed to be. Your ambassador is immune to hostilities. That is the whole point of ambassadors. That is the whole point of the embassy, is that it is the main contact point for communication between governments. And it is the way that, yes, we, are able to, when American citizens, or any other citizen for that matter, is in any given, country, then this is a place of safety for those citizens and so forth and everything. And like the whole ambassador system is supposed to be about cooperation and things like that. When Reagan was in office, if our ambassador had been viciously raped, and I can't remember if murdered or not, I tend not to look into the details much past what actually, did happen over the thing. And then I just kind of not looked into it because I get that vehemently enraged over it. But back in the 80s, had our ambassador been harmed like that, there would have been war. Our society was such at that point where when two countries are at war, there was no, but these people are not, it's with the government, no. The fact is that when a declaration of war was made, it used to be that, like in Germany, when the war was going on, the Germans could have gone to any other country and said, I do not support what the German government is doing, and would have been welcomed in as war refugees and everything, and then after the war they could have gone back, whatever else. Same thing with any other country. It's when you are in conflict. If you support the government, you are on the government side and are therefore the enemy. If you do not support the government, therefore you are not an enemy. But knowing that there is a war zone and you remain there, then you are by default supporting the government that we are at war with. And that's the way it always was, and that is the way that it really needs to be. Clear-cut lines. I look at how this country has evolved over the past 40 years of my life. I mean, I'm annoyed that Ted Cruz is not eligible for president, because if he is what he appears to be, he is what this country needs. But unfortunately, he was not born on U.S. soil, and I'm sorry, I take the interpretation that, because the Constitution is very clear, there is a difference between citizen and natural born citizen. There are actually two distinctions made, and under the thing, under constitutional law interpretation, when there are two, when it is obvious that there are in fact two categories of something, then you are to interpret it, based on what it says. And when it says natural born citizen, and other things have established natural born meaning born to citizens, born to people who hold citizenship, and born on territory in the contiguous body. Now, under natural born, yeah, I do accept anybody actually born in Hawaii after whatever, like I think it was in the 1950s or 1960s that Hawaii became a state. I can never remember because it was either 65 or 56. Eventually I'll bother Googling it or something. So anybody born in Hawaii, once it attained statehood, alright, fine. If you were born even the day before, I'm sorry, you are not eligible. You know, there needs to be very clear lines. We need to stick to them again instead of this creative interpretation of, well, you know, I'm sorry, it's just the way that this country has gone. We've gotten to the point where Hillary Clinton can actually be put forth as a serious candidate. Anyway, I'm going to get back to working on, you know, my armor here. And decide whether or not I need to completely reprint the arms or just reprint the bicep. You know, either way, I'm pretty happy with the armor overall. I just wish that I could actually get it, like, as an actual Iron Man suit, because I know I would have so much fun just busting down the side wall of the White House and going, okay, motherfucker, this is what your job is. But then again, that's just my personal little, you know, escapist fantasy that just, Well, in any event, thank you for continuing to watch and have a nice day. I will be uploading, you know, other things along the way and all. I'm still working on, like, some game reviews and things like that. Start trying to expand, you know, what it is that I'm doing. I figure I'm probably going to end up just, you know, generally keeping it capped at about 20 minutes on my just kind of normal, just philosophical rants and things like that, and then I'm probably going to actually try to start structuring. I'm actually thinking of doing a 2-hour show every week, because I'm just too damn cheap to actually pay for an account on Blog Talk Radio. Although if any of you out there decide you want to actually fund my Blog Talk Radio show, hey, cool, I can come up with at least a weekly show anyway. And then I've also got some ideas that I'm working on. I've got, well, I don't know if I'm going to screw around with this because I'm really kind of over Apple products at all. I was given this, and I had a 32 gig that just ended up finally biting the damn bag. And the only reason why I even bothered keeping an iPod Touch is because there's a couple of games that I just can't find on the Android market, like Undercroft. If they actually were to come out with a direct port, you know, of Undercroft from the iPod market or the Apple market to the Android market, you know, screw it. You know, it's I may end up actually keeping this around as just an extra music player or something like that. I've got some ideas for a costume that I could just use just something, be an MP3 player. Oh, it doesn't even have a camera, it doesn't have Wi-Fi. I'm like, but anyway, yeah, this is a Samsung Galaxy S. It was like one of the original ones that came out. And then my old LG Motion. I like having available extra devices around for various, you know, development stuff. Like I've got some Android stuff that I'm working on that I'm gonna kind of, you know, basically just kind of sandbox it and prototype it in the handhelds, and then I'll be going towards making a full-size, you know, friggin' multi-touch table that I'll be using the Android operating system for, at least as my actual interface kind of thing. You know, just because I like the thought of having a tablet the size of a freaking pool table, which is one of my goals anyway. I've also got some holodeck ideas that I'm working with. I've got the basic hardware concepts down at this point. I've got a very interesting idea for position calibration and everything. I just got to find out whether there's some open source stuff and how good it is, and then see if there's any tweaks I need to make to it to be able to make it better. And I'm also very interested in trying some multi-camera integration with it and see basically just kind of how I can get it working better. But I did join the Microsoft Developer Network. I've got that site that I need to actually sign up for the Developers Network. I signed up on the Insiders program. And so I'm going to sign up on the Developers program pretty soon, and see, because the HoloLens, it basically pretty much does everything I was already thinking about for my own project. I was actually working on doing a head-mounted display. I had found sources on hardware and everything else. I could have actually built pretty damn good ones, so I may end up still moving forward with that. Just to see, can I do better? Because, hell, just like HP, Gateway, all these other companies make computers that run Windows. If I can basically make a device so that way Windows can, still make, their hardware or whatever else, and then just see if there's a way I can make a device that the HoloLens can run on, so. Mostly it's a just can I do it, but it would make interesting for being able to bring it to market. So anyway, that's pretty much all for now. I will put together some things. Like I said, I'm working on some game reviews. Mostly it's just an excuse to play video games, but hey. I am working on some game reviews, some older stuff that I managed to actually finally get a hold of and start playing with, so we'll see from there. And then also I've got some e-cigarette builds that I've got planned coming up. There's one I saw that when you look at the coil, it kind of looks like the arc reactor. You have an inner ring and an outer ring, and then the coils themselves actually go from each ring. And so, because then the way it's done is that it's actually stiff wire on the poles, and then the coils, go from there. And the one I saw was an 8-coil build, I think it was. I may end up trying to do a 10-coil. And then I do have a 16-coil build that I want to try. I found one guy that did it, and just, oh my god, this thing just shoots clouds of vapor. This is just a dual coil. And it does pretty good. But this guy went and did a thing, he just kind of... And just... the screen whited out. And so I'm looking at doing that because I want to do a Predator mask, and I want to be able to do the steam effect. Well, using a 16-coil build and maybe a small draw fan, I should be able to get that steam effect going on. And then I can always just have secondary units I can vape during the thing. So it kind of goes on to 2 different product lines. Yeah, and this is also something I'm going to be talking about later on, is why I do so many multifaceted projects, because it kind of helps keep my brain active, but that's just how my brain works. In any event, thank you for continuing to watch, and have a nice day.